tournament so far this week. That's quite funny with that guy. Welcome to the 2015 Dapperbet Masters. This is our first edition of Breakoff, and we're coming on at the same time the quarter-finals are starting. So Ivan Hershevitz, World Snooker Press Officer, there's so much drama already to reflect on. Selby and Murphy locked at 5-all. Murphy comes through. Marco Fu with a brilliant 147 on Sunday night. And if we're talking about first-round highlights, how about that heartwarming ovation for Ali Carter when he came out having got the all clear? It really was a hairs on the back of your neck moment.
Absolutely, just a great moment for Ali and for everyone on the snooker circuit who's so pleased to see him back. I think the most impressive thing about Carter is how positive he's been all the way through. Even when he was having chemotherapy, he was tweeting pictures of himself, he was saying he's going to beat it, and for him to be back now, got the all clear and winning, you know, beating Barry Hawkins, a tough opponent, 6-1, it's just it's great for everyone to see him back.
It absolutely is, and he's got a massive match against the world #1 Neil Robertson. So talking about the quarterfinals, it all got underway this afternoon, and a little bit of history was made here on this table by none other than the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, who roared to a world record number of centuries in the very first frame en route to his 6-1 win over Marco Fu, and this is what he had to say after the match.
It's good to get it out of the way, you know. But even just equaling it, I was pleased, you know, to kind of, but obviously to beat it was a massive, you know, massive just to get it done, you know, and then obviously concentrate on the match because it's a big match, quarterfinals of the Masters. You want to, you know, that's what's the most important thing is to win the game.
It was almost a mark of sportsmanship on your behalf. You were sort of motioning for the crowd to sit down, which you want to get on with the match, but that's a nice thing to do from the perspective of the guy sitting in the other seat, Marco Fu.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, it's not Marco's fault that I've sort of happened to break the record against him. It's sort of we both come into the match. He wanted to get to the semis. I want to get to the semis. So it was important that was that 100 break, and that kind of never kind of affected him either. You know, I see Marco giving me a clap, and that was nice. And I just thought it's enough now. You know, let's just get on with the game because we both want to, you know, compete and try and win this match.
Let's just talk about 776 centuries. Great way to do it. Get it right out the way at the beginning of the match, and then focus on winning.
I mean, I remember when we were at the UK Championship and he needed about 5 or 6 to equal the record, and we were thinking he could have done it in Wigan at the German Masters qualifiers, which might have been a bit of an anticlimax. But yeah, for him to do it here in his home tournament, we had 2 bites to the cherry because he equalled it against Walden, and then he's beaten it today. It's just an incredible moment, fantastic. And
one of my favourite recollections of that is him, you know, getting involved with the crowd, with the standing ovation, going back to his seat over there, and motioning for the crowd to calm down. What a brilliant display of sportsmanship, because he obviously understood there was a match still going on, and he also appreciated what the situation would look like from Marco Fu's point of view.
Yeah, exactly. And he said in his press conference afterwards, he was glad he got it out of the way early because he's very, very focused. He wants to win this tournament, and he can just concentrate on that now. And there was also a nice comment from Marco in his press conference when he was asked if he appreciated that gesture from Ronnie, and he said, well, I was one of the people applauding. You know, it's a great piece of snooker history.
Well, he will be back on Saturday afternoon for the semi-final. Once again, it will be absolutely packed here at Ali Pali. Now, here at Breakoff, we like to try and stay one step ahead of the shoe shine, as it were, in terms of breaking news. And there have been some very interesting comments emanating from Danny Mills, the former England footballer, who apparently, I'm not sure if he's been totally misquoted or taken out of context, but he's been saying that snooker isn't a sport because it doesn't require a change of footwear. So we're having a little bit of fun with the philosophies of Danny Mills every day on Breakoff between now and the climax of the Dapperbet Masters on Sunday. So here's another instalment of the Mills philosophy.
To call it a sport, you have to wear specific footwear. You can wear any shoes for snooker, not a sport.
Well, I'm not quite sure whether we might get a little bit of trouble there from a bit of fun with Danny Mills, but we will hear more from him before the end of this championship. Now, we've got two scintillating quarterfinals to come on Friday, one of which involves a player right back to the top of his game, Mark Allen, and I caught up with him as he finalised his preparations for another attempt on a place in the semi-finals here at the Masters. Into the quarterfinals, and that was a pretty comprehensive way to come through the first round.
Yeah, John pretty much threw everything at me, so very happy to get through. I think I'll need to improve in the next round though, but I'm still happy to be in.
The great thing about that match was how much you both seemed to be enjoying it, and you in fact said in the press conference afterwards, we're being paid to do something we love. We should be showing energy and we should be upbeat and give the crowd something to work off.
Yeah, well, people pay good money to come and watch us, so we had to, not only do you want to go out there and win, but you want to entertain as well. If you go out there and win and people don't get no value for money or don't enjoy it, then they won't come back. So I think me and John put on a good show for them yesterday. Yeah, I'm enjoying it again. The last couple of years have been much better for me, on and off the table. Got myself sort of in order. I'm practicing a lot better than what I was. Got a bit lazy at times, thinking it was coming a little bit too easy, and the game can come back and bite you, pretty easily, and it did, because I wasn't getting results there for a few years, and sort of rededicated myself, and as you say, I'm enjoying it a lot more because of that.
Do you think people underestimate how big a part of the game your mental well-being is?
It's probably the most mental game there is. Any sports I've tried, there's nothing that comes close to snooker for the mental fatigue that you go through in a match. I'd say between the top players, the top 16, the only thing that separates the top players from the rest is probably the mental attitude, probably a little bit stronger than the rest. And it's mad because it's so tough whenever you feel like you've played a good shot and then you might not get a shot for another 20 minutes if someone clears the table against you. In any other sport that I can think of, you always get your chance to reply, and in snooker it's not quite like that.
Now, how many times this season have you had a chance to get up to Old Trafford? I mean, you guys do a legendary amount of travelling now. Is it a case of just watching matches, in airport lounges and snatching a half here and a half there, or have you actued managed to get up there this season?
No, I haven't been there this year. I had to give up my season tickets just when the calendar was announced, I think, at the start of the last season, and it's just so busy. It was a waste of money if I kept them, but definitely not rule out getting them again. It'd be good to go back. It's a great atmosphere there, and they seem to be getting themselves into a bit of order themselves, and a decent run they were on before they lost to Southampton, so hopefully you can get on that sort of run again.
Are you confident of Champions League?
I'm confident, but I don't think it's because United are playing that well. I think it's more so that the teams around them, I think, will drop more points than United will throughout the rest of the season. Well,
Ivan, we've been talking about Mark Allen being an emerging talent, but now he's 28 years of age. It is his time to deliver. He's starting to do that, and he could be a very, very interesting player to watch over the next season or so, because when he's in the balls, he makes it look fun and he makes it look brilliant to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a young gun anymore. He's been around for 10 years or more. He's been very consistent this season. He won the Paul Hunter Classic and he got to 3 other finals, but I think he would have been disappointed to lose in two ranking finals. He's not got the best record in BBC events in recent years, and like you say, this is his time. He's got to start winning the big ones, and there would be no better time to do that than this week.
Well, the final match in the quarters on Friday night is a really, really intriguing encounter. We've got Stephen Maguire, who had a fantastic win over Judd Trump, up against Murphy, who knocked out the multiple Masters champion Mark Selby. Not quite needle between them, but there's an intense rivalry, and that's great for snooker. It's a really tough one to call.
Yeah, I mean, they're just such different characters, and great rivals certainly on the table. I think that's going to be a real close one, 6-5 either way. They've both won tournaments recently, both won European Tour events, but Murphy needs this one to complete the Triple Crown. Maguire also wants to win on the big stage. Well,
that one is going to be a brilliant match to watch. 2 fascinating quarterfinals coming up on Friday. That wraps things up for today's break-off, but we'll be back tomorrow as the drama increases here at snooker's most prestigious invitational tournament, the 2015 Dafabet Masters. See you tomorrow.